It's here, it's finally here. The first episode of Bleach Senden Kasenhen has finally aired. High time we take a look whether it lives up to the hype and what we can expect moving forward. Bankai! Well, it took over 10 years for us to get this episode, so I'm pretty sure you were all just as excited as I was to watch it. But in this first impression video, I want to take a deeper look at this first episode, compare it to the manga, and see what we can expect moving forward. So, compared to the manga, I noticed that they did follow pretty well the story as it was in the manga, aside from two scenes that they shortened or left out. Now, the first one is when Shino and Ryunosuke arrive in Karakura-cho. In the manga, we get a little preceding couple of panels where they talk a bit in Soul Society, and then we see them arrive in the human world through the portal. They shortened that in the anime episode, and we immediately jump in with them arriving at Karakura-cho. Is that an issue? For me, it isn't. We don't really miss much in doing so, and it keeps the story flowing a little bit quicker. So, all in all, I was pretty much okay with that. A second scene that I found interesting that wasn't present actually in the anime episode is there were 2 or 3 pages in the manga with an interaction between Hiyori and Lisa. Now, these are the visors, right? And Hiyori notices, she says, in the manga, I had to look it up again because it's been a while since I've read it. Hiyori says, Shinigami no nioi suru. I can smell a Shinigami, referring to Ryunosuke and Shino arriving or having arrived in Karakura-cho. So that scene is completely absent in the anime episode. So one shortened scene, one cut scene, so to speak. In my opinion, they did that for the overall flow of the anime episode, which was really well paced, I must say. I think they nailed it with the pacing. And we have to remember there are hardcore fans of Bleach that remember every little detail. Who would have really been happy with seeing Hiyori and Lisa again, for example. But it's been 10 years. And I think they also want to kind of try to keep it a little bit as a jumping on point for newcomers as well. So it would have been a little bit overloaded, I think, for the episode. It would have maybe even less hardcore fans would have probably been thinking like, yeah, who were those characters again, or what was the name again? And those scenes are very short in the manga as well. So I think overall a good idea that they cut that out, that they skipped it, and they can always come back to it later. So I think that's not an issue. Aside from that, they followed the manga pretty much to the letter. Which is great, I think. No need to stretch out certain scenes, just go for it. As it was in the manga, because that part of the manga, in my opinion, was actually the better part of the manga, because Kubo Sensei wasn't shackled to the rhythm of the anime episodes anymore, and I feel like there he could really let his talent bloom to the fullest. So for this anime adaptation, I think it would indeed be a good idea if they can follow the story quite tightly of the manga. For this first episode, they managed to do that, in my opinion. Just one scene that is cut that was relatively meaningful, another one that was shortened. No problem there. The pacing was really good. So, in that regard, story-wise, I don't have any gripes. Pretty happy with it. Visually, I must say it was great to see this. The trailer already hyped me up pretty much for this, and I must say that. It's weird to say, but I think the visuals are the perfect marriage between the style that we had at the end of the previous season and the advancements that we have in anime possibilities in that 10-year gap. And what I mean with that is the style is the same. If I look at, for example, the character design, the characters have aged, of course, a little bit, but they stick to the manga, and the difference between the last season or the end of the last season and the beginning of this season is not jarring at all. You can clearly see, well, this is the Ichigo that we had at the end of last season. Same with the other returning characters, Ishida and so on, Orihime. There's a certain continuity there. And I think for the character design, that is a good thing. If they would have completely reworked the character design, went with a different style, I think that would have been a little bit jarring for the existing fans. So good job there. Where they really were able to shine, in my opinion, is the special effects and the backgrounds. Now, I remember when I saw Bleach, the very first episode, way back in, what was it, 2004? I don't know, 2006? I don't remember quite. Anyway, quite a while ago. When I saw that first episode, I liked the style. It was quite close to the manga, which was great in my opinion. The character design and so on was really on point. But I always thought, like, the backgrounds, they gave me a little bit of feeling of they had like a hazy or fuzzy layer over it. Probably also a stylistic choice to give it more of that esoterical feeling, because we're talking about spirits, Shinigami and so on. So to give it a little bit of that vibe. But at the same time, it's also a technical matter, because they can only put so much detail into a background picture. Everything was completely hand-drawn in that time. So making it a little bit, giving it that esoterical, a little bit fuzzy, hazy layer on top of it, helps to hide the fact that you didn't put as much detail in the backgrounds. So I think it was partly a stylistic choice, partly done because, well, they could only put so much detail in the panels. And this time it's a completely different animal. We start the episode already with beautiful blue energy special effects, referring to the villain that is going to appear. So that was actually really well done, in my opinion. That was very on point. And when I was really impressed was when I saw Karakuracho for the first time at night. So when Shino and Ryunosuke arrive at Karakuracho, you see a background, a panel of the entire city, seen from above and like an eagle's viewpoint, and it's incredibly well done. Even though it is dark, you see a lot of detail, and here the high definition and so on really helps. You see a lot of detail. You have all those little lights that are individually lit up. It's not just lines of light, it's really like individual lights. You look at it and there's a complete different sense of detail compared to what we had in previous seasons. And that's just, that was the first one that really stood out for me, but there are various panels, for example, the room of Ichigo as well. In previous seasons, you had, for example, his room and you had his bookshelf, and the books that you saw there were pretty, well, you saw it, they were books, but they were pretty undefined, so to speak. You just had a plain cover and maybe with a line and a little bit of text or whatever, but it was all very plain, so to say. And now you can see every book is detailed, and I think the computer graphic animations really help here. I think the fact that they're able to use computers to assist them in making these more detailed backgrounds really stood out to me in a good way. So very happy with the visuals. It's a nice mix between keeping in line with what we had before, which is also necessary because it's the continuation of an existing series, but at the same time reinvigorating, renewing, and adding quality to what was already there. So in that regard, absolutely No complaints from my side, quite the opposite. I was very, very happy with what I saw, very happy with the quality there, and I think they did a fantastic job, the team that worked on this. Both the character designers and the people who worked on the backgrounds, each did really add to the overall. So story-wise, everything okay, pacing is great, visuals are okay. Audio-wise, I also had a great time. The voice actors are back. It's like they never left. I didn't have any complaints about that. You immediately recognize all the characters just by their voice, which is great. So nothing to say there. New characters are very well voiced as well, so that's also great that they don't just give attention to the existing characters, but also the new ones that are introduced as well, which is also important, of course, because they are going to be the main villains now for the rest of the season. And what's also interesting is, and I really love that, the way they started the episode. So we're not starting with Ichigo and the gang. We are starting with Shino and Ryunosuke. They arrive at Karakuricho and they are completely overwhelmed by the sheer volume of hollows that are really jumping on them, so to speak. They are really being swarmed from all sides, completely outnumbered and outclassed. And then you have one by one our main heroes arriving, and then Ichigo as the last one, which I think was perfect for the scene. And they start playing the same song that they played when he, with the vocals, when he became Shinigami for the first time. That was often used in the beginning of the anime. The title of the song escapes me now, but I'm pretty sure you all know which one it is. Now that you are number one, right, with the English vocals. That really was perfect in my opinion. You have those two Shinigami arriving, completely outnumbered, outclassed, and then you have the four heroes who jump in to save the day, each one entering the fray at a time, and then you have a shot of their face, like a splash panel, so to speak, with their name, their face, their name, with a colored page. Absolutely fantastic, and that colored page reminded me a little bit of the colored pages in the manga. That was very well done. I like that, the way they reintroduce those characters. Great for fans old, and great for fans new alike, because for them it's a jumping on point. Maybe they get introduced to those main characters that way. So that was very well done. Great use of the music there as well. Otherwise, sound effects were on par as I would expect. A long-standing gripe I have, which is, the case as well here, is that I really wish Japanese anime studios would put more effort into surround sound for their TV series. I get a real kick out of surround sound from anime movies, but that is always or often lacking in TV series. Here that's the case as well, and I think that would have added a little bit of more dimensionality to certain fight sequences, even though we didn't see that many yet, but it would have added a little bit more. That's not specifically aimed at Bleach, but that's just a remark in general I have. But otherwise, the sound quality, the recording, everything was really great. The use of the music as well. And the end theme song was also great. I love the fact that they... it's a nice song. I like it. Definitely enjoyed it. And it's really nice that they use all those scenes from the old season mixed into the ending credits. That's really well done, and you see like the advancement of the story throughout those scenes as well, which is a fantastic blast from the past for old fans like me. And maybe for newcomers, it can be a way to quickly get a short recap of everything that happened, even though that's not going to be enough. You're going to have to read the manga a little bit or watch the anime to be caught up. But it gives a little bit an overview of what came before, and you can see also the visual style of the anime changing over the years. just as Kubo Sensei's style also changed in the manga. If you look at Ichigo from the first Tankobon volume and the way he was in the later volumes, well, you can clearly see a stylistic difference there. His art style has evolved for the better, if you ask me. And yeah, you see that in that recap, so to speak, which was a nice touch, I think. It's nice that they recognize the fact that this is a continuation. This is something fans have been waiting for, have been wanting for many years. I get the feeling that they clearly understand that. Now, what can we expect moving forward? In my opinion, the same high quality that we've seen so far, so that would be great. I think that's what we're going to get or keep getting for this season. As far as I know, it's going to be 4 cours of approximately 13 episodes per course, so we're in for 52 episodes approximately. I think that if they keep the pace the way it's going now, I think that's going to be about right to cover the rest of the story. I think it really depends on whether they're going to go a little bit longer in certain action scenes, if they're going to shorten certain other scenes. There's a lot of possibility to stretch and compress there, but it's a story that really requires them to follow the manga quite closely. So I would be inclined to think that that's what they're going to do. They're going to probably stick pretty close to the manga. Kubo Sensei is also involved in the project, so I don't think he would be happy if they start adding all kinds of stuff, or if they start randomly cutting things. Here and there, they're going to adapt a few things, I think, but that will be because the animated version has a different flow than when you read it as a manga panel. So I think we might see little adaptations in that regard, as we saw in the first episode as well now. But probably a very close adaptation of the manga is what we're going to get, I think. So, all in all, I'm very happy with the first episode. Anime is great, the animation is great, quality is great, audio is great. Story-wise, they stick to the manga as they should, in my opinion. And actually, I don't have any complaints. I'm just overjoyed that I can finally see the rest, or that we can finally see the rest of this story in animated form. So I'll definitely keep watching. Probably once this core is over, I'm gonna do a review of the entire core. So I always give a first impression after one episode when I check out an anime, and then I'm gonna give my review once the entire core has run its course. So make sure to check that out. Keep watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do leave a like. It incredibly helps out the channel. If you want to see more of my content, feel free to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and you'll be keeping up to date with all my content. There's a lot of first impressions, reviews, trailer reactions, and deep dives as well. So if you like Bleach, I'm going to do deep dives into Bleach as well. We're going to take a look at where Kubo Sensei got his inspiration actually for Bleach as a whole and certain elements in Bleach. We're going to dig into Japanese culture in reference to Bleach and so on. So those are longer videos I'm working on. They take a little bit more time, but they're coming up. So if you like Bleach, if you enjoy Bleach, if you want to learn more about Bleach, please do subscribe to the channel so you get notified when a new episode comes out. So hope you enjoyed. Take care, and let's keep enjoying our anime. Jane! Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, tap the notification bell, and sound off in the comments. And hey, while you're here, why not check out another video?